All right, tip-off here at Redbird Arena as Illinois State plays host to the Greenville Panthers, and the Redbirds control the opening tip. We're underway. Home opener for Illinois State. Now lob to Sissoko is in, and a jam off the feet from Antonio Reeves.
Well, it's pretty obvious that was a set, that they realized what was going to happen defensively and took advantage of it often.
And now off the missed shot, quickly up the floor, Strong is fouled. Our first foul of the game. It's against Kenneth Cooley, the leading scorer for the Panthers, averaging 14 points a game. We are going to see points by the bunches. That's the way this system works, if you will, for Greenville. They want to score. They don't mind giving up points. They'd rather shoot the 3 and give you a 2. This is a 3 from Horn. Missed. Jai controls the offensive glass and puts it back in.
He had a mismatch down below trying to block him out. Took advantage of it. Got a nice putback.
First points for Abdu Jai. Now pump fake. The 3 is missed by Ralph Jalnays, and back comes Illinois State now with a 4-0 lead in the ball. Jai out to an open Strong. He can't get it to go. It's cleared by Caden Johnson. There are 3 Johnsons on the Panthers roster. Taking it down and scoring the first points for the Panthers is Kenneth Cooley. He's the junior guard from Sacramento, and again the leading scorer. Redbirds doing a nice job in the early going and breaking that pressure. But Abdu Jai can't finish from in close that time.
Needs to use the backboard right there. You're that tight and you can't get a dunk. You need to lay a nice little soft jumper off of the glass.
Jai with the rejection. 5 out, 5 in now for the Panthers. And again, the system that you talk about here, Bob, is the system of running in players and out. It's like a hockey shift. You bring 5 bodies fresh in, and 5, you take 5 off the floor.
Well, the coaches from Greenville have a system, as you said, that they rotate 5 different players every 45 to 90 seconds off the clock. They'll run 5 new faces on the floor, and they've got 15 players they use accordingly.
Putting it on the floor and taking it to the basket was Jared Johnson, but his shot's out of bounds, and so the Redbirds will take possession of it again. And the key for the Panthers is trying to turn the ball over in the backcourt. They have a 1-2-1-1 zone press, but the Redbirds have done a nice job of handling it on the early going. A nice spin move from Reeves.
Good hands of catching that pass. A little awkward in traffic, but he caught it, kept control of it, and finished.
They really don't want to hang on to the ball for more than about 10 seconds, and that's a 3 from the outside. The first one for Kendall Edmond. He's just a 25% three-point shooter on the season. His 3rd three-point make of the year. First one of the night for the Panthers. But again, the Redbirds bring it back down, but it's going to be an offensive foul before Jai could slam it home.
Got to come to a jump stop there and be able to control your momentum. So that's what they try to get you to do at this fast pace. Greenville will press on every possession, not just after made baskets. They will press every possession, and they will try to get you to play at a speed that you're uncomfortable with and take advantage of that situation when they can.
Romello Ball trying to split the defense. Lost it momentarily. Now it's Johnson from the corner. He misses the 3. It's cleared by Jai, and he's fouled. That's going to go against Justin Cross.
As you and I had talked about earlier, Kurt, that offensively in this system, Greenville wants to get up a minimum of 100 shots a game, and they want 50% of those shot attempts to come from beyond the arc at the three-point line.
Ball is loose, and the Redbirds come away with it. Horn's pass is intercepted, and now the Panthers have numbers. It's a nice feed in transition, but a rejection coming back is Sissoko as he took the ball right out of the hands of Cooley, who tried to finish. He got a nice feed from Dustin Bankowski, but the ball swatted out of bounds.
Well, you've seen the Redbirds make a couple of careless turnovers, and that's what the frantic pace that Greenville plays tries to get you to do.
It's Caden Johnson for a 3, his 7th 3 make of the season. Redbirds quickly back down the floor and one. They try to take advantage of the transition, and it's Haruna Sissoko with the hoop there.
I believe that foul was on Kenneth Cooley, and if so, I believe it's his 2nd.
It is.
And they have their leading scorer already less than 4 minutes into the game. and he's got 2 fouls.
Now the Redbirds are sending in a freshman. It's Iman Washington in the game now for the first time. Standing to check in is going to be sophomore Alex Kodoff. And he'll come in now and replace the freshman who just made that free throw, Sissoko. The Redbirds likely are going to play every player on their roster tonight, you would think, but they are short a couple of players. Dusan Mahorsic has had back issues early in this season, has yet to play in any of the Redbird games. And they're also missing Howard Fleming Jr., a promising freshman from Louisville. He's in street clothes on the bench tonight.
Howard Fleming had played well in the previous 2 games, showed a lot of promise as a freshman.
Putting it on the floor and scoring is Cooley. Again, we mentioned the leading scorer. He's averaging 14 points per game, and that's his second field goal of this one. Washington's pass to Kodoff now. The Redbirds with the numbers. They bring it down to Abdu Jai, and he's fouled. We got a body on the floor. Well, the Panthers are slow to get up here.
I think he rolled an ankle on that.
That's Caden Johnson, who's gingerly making his way to the bench.
Doesn't appear that he's going to be able to continue. They're going to have to. This is going to mess with their rotations because they substitute 5 for 5, and when you're down players, it doesn't help.
So Tyler Jelks will come in as Caden Johnson makes his way to the bench, and it'll be free throw time for Illinois State's Abdou Jai. He's the sophomore from Senegal. His third consecutive start here to open the season for Illinois State. 6'9", 195. He's about 10 pounds heavier than he was a year ago. He splits the free throws.
Just needs game experience. I think Jai's got a ton of talent. It's inside there. He just hasn't played a lot at this level, and he's got to learn the game.
There's a 3 that is missed, and it's going to be cleared by Kodoff. He's going to try to take it up himself. There was 4 Panthers waiting for him, so the Redbirds have numbers, and in transition from the outside and knocking down a 3, DJ Horn.
Well, that young man, a lot of Redbird fans got excited about last year for all the right reasons. A lot of composure last year as a freshman, made the all-freshman team in Missouri Valley. He's got a promising career ahead here in Redbird Arena.
Officials timeout. Illinois State 13 and Greenville 10 early on here at Redbird Arena. Illinois State 13, Greenville University 10 early on here at Redbird Arena. Bob, let's talk about the keys for tonight's ball game.
Well, I think they're pretty simple on both ends of the floor. And I think for Illinois State, you got to stay focused and play your game. Don't get caught up in the running up and down freestyle approach that Greenville brings to the court. You have to remember that when they're pressing, you run your press offense. When they're in a zone, you run your zone offense. You look to move the ball. You got to continue to improve, which I think is another big key tonight. This is another stepping stone for the Redbirds with a chance to improve. Take tonight as that opportunity and be better for the next game when it comes. Greenville, they have to continue to do what they always do. Follow the system. Play like they know how to. And then they got to play for the future because their future is not against Division I opponents such as their first 4 games have been. Their future is in their league against D3 schools, and they got to know these games are going to make them better for those opportunities.
Redbirds again do an excellent job of breaking pressure, and it's Iman Washington with an easy bucket. Redbirds have Dedrick Boyd in the game for the first time. Austin Andrews, a freshman from Detroit, in the game also for Illinois State for the first time. And again, the Redbirds have numbers. They've got 3-on-1. There is Boyd, and he's fouled. He'll get to the free throw line. You bring up a good point, Bob, about playing for the future at Greenville. Had a nice conversation with their head coach, Dr. George Barber. He is a former Bradley assistant. He was an assistant coach under Jim Molinari in the 90s, and then he's been here now for 22 seasons. And we joked that I said, your recruiting budget is pretty good for a Division III school. You've got players on your roster from Arizona and California and East Coast. He said, this is our recruiting tool. We play Division I teams, and people can see that. This is their 4th consecutive game against a D1 opponent. And so people say, I think I'm going to go play in that 100-plus scoring per offense game and then maybe play some D1 schools. And that's what Greenville's done very well. Their fourth game, and all four have been against Division I opponents.
Well, one thing also that the style does, it's a they don't give scholarships at Greenville, athletic scholarships. So kids that play in a regular format that set the bench, that's not a lot of fun. This system provides fun. They all know going into every game they're going to play 15 kids.
That's right.
They're going to play. They're going to have a chance, and you're going to get yelled at if you don't shoot the ball. I can honestly say that never happened in my career. I was yelled at for shooting the ball, but not because I didn't shoot the ball.
Well, they took 107 shots in their game against Murray State. There's a nice bucket on the inside. That's Justin Cross, 6'7". He's a senior from Chicago, so playing in his home state here. But 107 shots in their game against Murray State. 74 of them were three-pointers. They get a turnover here off that pressure now. Back down the floor and scooping it up, is missing it was Ball, and now the Redbirds are going to bring it back down. This is Boyd. It's a 3-on-2. Washington trying to close it out here, and he does.
Iman Washington.
Nice move on the paint. Flip shot is no good that time by Jared Johnson. We mentioned there's 3 players with the last name Johnson on this Panthers roster. Redbirds a little sloppy with it, but they get it up to Boyd, who's all alone.
And that's what the Greenville defense will do. They'll bring all 5 guys up, past the midcourt line, gamble. They gamble on every play. They'll give you a layup because they're going to do just what we witnessed right there. They're going to take threes. Like we said, they want 50% of their shot attempts to come from beyond the arc, as we see again.
Travis Dickey from way out.
And they're going to trap every possession at some point.
This is Kotoff down low. The Redbirds getting a lot of points in the paint here.
Well, and that's the sacrifice that Greenville will make on their defense. They're going to come out and get you on the perimeter. They'll let you have a 2-point basket with their attempt at 3. And here comes the line change.
Yeah. Actually, both sides doing a hockey change here.
DJ Horn. Aruna Sissoko.
Right now, I got to believe ISU coaching staff would like a little more pattern, a little more discipline on against the press. They're not real consistent on how we're breaking the press and getting the ball inbounds and things of that nature.
Redbirds turned that ball over, threw it right to George Barber, the head coach of the Panthers.
Josiah Strong believed that somebody was hanging on his arm right there, but the ref didn't buy into that.
That's Dickey again from the top of the circle. Missed that. 3. Justin Bankowski finds the open Tyler Jelks. He can't get it, but another couple of looks here for the Panthers as they get some offensive rebounds.
Well, again, I sound like a broken record giving you details of the system. The shooter is the one that drops back on defense, and the other 4 guys all go to the offensive board, is how they set it up. And that's their system. That's the way they do it. So they're going to get offensive rebounds because they outnumber you a lot of times.
Sissoko turning the ball over, so the Panthers will get it back. And again, if you've heard about this system, it's credited with being really invented by the folks at Grinnell in Iowa, and it's been used by other teams. But right now, this is the system of getting many shots up. As we said, 100 a game, and it works for some teams. And as you said, it's a very exciting style if you want a lot of points. And now a steal. So that pressure with another turnover. They've got numbers 4-0. Cooley's going to flip it up and in.
ISU's been quite careless with the ball at this point in time. They've got 7 turnovers already.
And a slam dunk here on the other end, where the Redbirds trying their best. Iman Washington is now wearing 30. May have been that he had blood on his jersey. He had to change jerseys here. But again, the key to breaking this and beating this is you break it, and then you've got layups and dunks on the other end.
Exactly. If you get past midcourt with 1, 2, 3 quick passes, you're going to shoot a layup and or dunk the ball on the other end almost every time. You have to keep the ball out of the corner. And if you're in the corner, you got to move quickly. And when you attack the rim like that, you have to be disciplined. You can't run over people against their quick-paced defense.
25-14, Illinois State with a lead here. 12 minutes to go, first half at Redbird Arena. The holidays are back, and so is Toyotathon. Drive home a great deal on a reliable Toyota at our biggest event of the year. Visit your local Toyota dealer today with more details and to check out the offers on a wide selection of Toyota vehicles. Kurt Pegler, Bob Morris with you here at Redbird Arena in Normal. I want to correct myself. Cy Chapman is wearing 30. He had a dunk there a moment ago. He's typically supposed to wear number 13, but evidently he's wearing 30 tonight, and he has in the past as they wait for his official uniform to get in, so he's wearing number 30, doesn't have a last name on the back of his jersey.
Well, typically you would think the Redbirds would be ecstatic with what their stat lines are showing. They're showing they're 80% from the free throw line, they're 100% from three-point line, and they're shooting 91% overall. The problem becomes is that they've also, in 8 minutes of play, they've got 8 turnovers, which has been the negative that's kept Greenville hanging around a little bit.
Firing up a three this time and making it is Dickey. Freshman from Wayne City, Illinois. He had a 12-point game against Kansas City. All these guys can shoot the three. Now quickly back down the other end of the floor, it's Jai who lays it in. The big fella, Cross was in the paint. He passed up the two to get a three, but he gets it right back and slams it down. He got a nice feed, a little give and go with Isaiah Dortch.
ISU just a little bit out of sync on defense on that possession there with 2 guys stayed with 1 player.
Jai again, that time on the feed from Chapman.
Jai off the assist from Cy Chapman.
Chapman is a transfer from UMass. He was just given a waiver a couple of weeks ago to be eligible to play immediately for the Redbirds. Reeves with a three for Illinois State. But if you look down for more than about 2 seconds, you're going to miss a possession here.
Well, one of the things about the system that I found interesting was that their claim by their coaching staff is that they would rather give up a 2-point field goal than get a defensive stop with a shot clock violation, because it takes too long. The clock is running too long to get a shot clock violation. They want it to happen and happen quickly. They'll give you 2 points because they believe they're going to shoot enough threes, they'll get it back.
This is Reeves. Can he make it 2 threes in a row? He does.
Looks smooth on that one. Young man's got a good future. I like him.
Antonio Reeves.
There's a steady influence on the floor, and that's a blocked shot. Andrews got a piece of it. Now the Redbirds going to try to turn that into points. But Andrews just about a half a step too quick, and he threw it away.
Well, it's you just try to do everything a little bit quick, and then you're out of sync, and that's you see the product of that. The results are not good when you play out of control.
Redbirds with a 16-point advantage here in the first half. Nice spin move. Missed shot by Cooley and cleared by Illinois State. There's that backcourt pressure again. We're going to see it all game long. Horn quickly up the floor. Dedrick Boyd lays it in.
Dedrick Boyd off the assist from DJ Horn.
Ball movement, diagonal passes, move without the ball to the open spaces. Keep the game simple.
And Boyd with Keith Fisher opting out of this season, Boyd becomes kind of the elder statesman of the team. There are no seniors on this Illinois State roster. And Boyd being a junior, I've been around the program a couple of years. Abdu Jai, you're looking at guys really with just like 2 years experience are really your upperclassmen, your elder statesmen here.
You're exactly right. If you're a sophomore or a redshirt sophomore, you're a veteran. So you just really have to rely on getting your experience and gaining your experience throughout the games, throughout the season.
You see a shot of Josiah Strong at the scorer's table ready to check in. And you look at Dan Muller. He's in his 9th season here with Illinois State. Again, working with a roster now of no seniors. It's the 7th time in Illinois State history that they've fielded a men's basketball team with no seniors. And only 4 juniors on this team. A very young Illinois State squad this year.
Always looking to penetrate and kick out, never looking to penetrate and finish.
Greenville is a member of the SLIAC Conference, and the Redbirds have played some SLIAC foes before. In fact, their most common opponent from that conference, Eureka College, they played the Red Devils 76 times in history. But this is the first time they've played George Barber's team since 1957. The only previous meeting with Greenville was back in the 50s. The Redbirds get a transition bucket there, that time from Austin Andrews.
Textbook on how to beat a press. They got up and down the floor and scored a lay-in with only 2 dribbles.
There's a flip in. That's Romello Ball in traffic scoring.
I think he shot that out of, what else do I do here? I'm out of options. I have to shoot.
And the Redbirds, that was Washington, who just out-muscled the defender for the basketball, turned it into 2 points. 43-21 Illinois State. This is just a furious pace.
Going back real quick to Iman Washington finishing on that last basket. He's another freshman in this class that I think has a lot of promise. Good-looking, athletic basketball body there. He's can put the ball on the floor, 6'6", really an athletic individual that can do a lot of things. I think he's got a bright future.
Pull-up jumper from the baseline is in for Tyler Jelks. His first bucket of the game. Code off for the Redbirds. He's on the floor now as the ball is down there. And there's going to be a held ball. Possession arrow favors Greenville.
If you're going to dribble the ball, you have to do it with a purpose against this kind of pressure. Because if you're just dribbling to try to get away from people, that's not going to happen. Because somebody's going to run from your blind side and catch you. And that's exactly what this whole premise of this whole defense is all about.
Driving to the basket and scooping it in, shooting it over Antonio Reeves that time is a ball. He's had a couple of acrobatic buckets here in the last 2 trips down the floor. This is Strong now. He's going to penetrate, and he leaves it for Andrews, who's going to finish it.
Good pass. You get in the paint off the dribble, you're going to do damage.
And a steal, quick hands for the Redbirds. That was Strong who came away with it.
Josiah Strong brings a lot of attributes to this Redbird squad. He's a smart young man. We see the finish right there with the drop down. Good job right there. Josiah Strong will be one that is a leader as this season progresses. He started at the Naval Academy his freshman year out of Minnesota. Got there and decided that wasn't for him for whatever the reason. I think it was he wanted more basketball time than he was getting, and I don't mean on the floor, I mean away from the court. They have other priorities when you go to the academy, and it turned out that was not for him. So he transferred out, went to Iowa Western, which is a very good junior college basketball program, and the Redbirds were fortunate enough to sign him, and I think he's going to be a good one, and he's a lot of what the Redbirds were missing on the perimeter, I think.
Well, he's been very solid in his first week and a half of competition with the Redbirds. We got a foul on the floor before the shot. By the way, the officials working tonight's game, Ed Crenshaw, Jeff Allen, and Jeff Campbell, they are getting a workout as well. We are the under 8 timeout, 46-25. Illinois State the lead here at Redbird Arena. Back here at Redbird Arena, where Illinois State leads 46-25 over the Panthers of Greenville. Moment of silence before the game for the voice of the Redbirds, Steve Adams, who lost a 3-year battle with pancreatic cancer in May. All he did was volunteer his time for 40 years as the public address announcer for Illinois State men's basketball and football games. He did hundreds of games. He was truly the voice of Illinois State athletics, and we miss him. It's weird coming into this building and not seeing fans. It's really weird coming into this building and not seeing Steve Adams.
That it is. You're talking about one of the classiest persons I've ever had the pleasure of knowing.
3-second violation against Jai of Illinois State.
When you're standing under the rim, you must get a shot off, and you're 6'9". You can't be looking to kick it out. You've got to go up and challenge somebody.
Well, certainly the 11 turnovers right now for Illinois State, you know that will be addressed by Dan Muller at halftime. Washington on the lob from Boyd with the finish.
Those two made eye contact outside the arc, and you could see it happening and developing as they continued.
Now the Redbirds again with numbers. Boyd's going to take it himself this time. He had an assist on the last possession and a bucket on this one. Boyd and Washington each having strong games off that Redbird bench. Nice move in traffic is Kenneth Cooley scoring there. He had 10 points and 10 turnovers in the season opener against Samford, but then he's kind of played a little bit more under control. He had 18 points and only 3 turnovers in the second game, and then a 12-point and 1 turnover effort last week against Murray State as Abdu Jai with the finish.
I think he figured out, if I'm this close, I might as well shoot it.
There's a bucket in close on the other end. That time it's Philip Curtis with his first hoop of the game for the Panthers. Redbirds, again, were trying to move the ball across the timeline when there was a foul.
Sometimes against pressure, you have to realize when you catch the ball, dribbling is not necessarily the first thing you want to do, particularly when they're always running somebody at you. You want to catch and look ahead. It's proven to be beneficial here tonight. If you look ahead, there's no defenders down there.
Well, Cooley just picked up his 3rd foul, so the Panthers leading scorer now with 3 first-half fouls. There's still better than 6 minutes to play in the half. We'll see if that affects his playing time the rest of this half.
Jai picked up that foul on the missed free throw.
We mentioned the turnover scenario for the Redbirds with 11 here in the first half. They had 16 turnovers against Ohio State and only 8 against UMass Lowell in their second game, so a much better job of taking care of the basketball. And again, now this style is much more frenetic than they saw in that multi-team event in Columbus, Ohio. But the Redbirds have more turnovers than they had in their last game, and we're still in the first half.
I think that's a safe comment. We say it's a little more frenetic than either of the 2 games over there.
Well, this is a game when you keep the record book close at hand because, in fact, Coach Barber even told us before the game, everywhere we go, people are setting records. So
He did, yes.
Every opponent that Greenville plays, they have their school record book at hand because they're rewriting records every time this team plays them. Just so many possessions when you go up and down the floor. So this is Jai to the free throw line. Jai was in 28 games a year ago. He had 9 starts, but he's already started 3 of them here for the Redbirds. He's trying to position himself with a team that's really guard heavy to be a consistent post presence. Out of the corner, this is Travis Dickey knocks down another 3. He had one early in the game and now his second 3-point make. Now Washington quickly down the floor. Here's Jai again.
Jai being the last man at the end of the press offense is the one that gets to be the recipient of a lot of drop-down passes for assists.
Yeah, Jai already has a career high. His career high coming into tonight was 7. He's got 12 here in the opening half.
Once again, an Illinois State turnover. They just have to do a better job of protecting the ball and careless with those outlet passes.
This is ball now gives it up to Kendall Edmond. And he's going to try to hit a little floater in the lane. It rolls off. The Panthers get it back. It's ball, and he's fouled by Kodoff at the 3-point line. And we've got another line change coming in. 5 substitutions here for the Panthers.
Kodoff probably needs to realize that he doesn't need to be that close when guarding him because he's probably at least a foot, if not more, taller than him. LaMelo Ball is 5'8", and Kodoff is 6'10".
2-on-0. This is going to be a dunk here for Kodoff. Yeah, that key is once you get past half court, once you break that half court pressure, you're going to have a layup on the other end. Well, we wondered whether or not Kenneth Cooley was going to be stuck on the bench with 3 fouls. He's on the floor. He just missed that shot. Now the Redbirds have a 2-on-1. Horn's going to pull up for 3 and knock it down.
3-point field goal, DJ Horn.
The first half record for points for Illinois State is 67. They're sitting on 60 right now.
With 4.5 minutes.
Possession stays with the Panthers.
Redbirds did that on the road. The Redbird Arena first half point record is 59, so they have already eclipsed that. That's 60 first half points.
You see Kodoff finishing off there, a pass ahead. If you look ahead against this and not get flustered when they throw a trap at you, there's going to be people wide open.
That's a deep 3 from way out from Caden Johnson. He was the player that left with maybe an ankle injury early in the game, but he's back on the floor. Now the Redbirds trying to quickly come back down the floor. Kodoff has another dunk. The shooting percentages for the big men can be really, really good if they're down the floor, but an answering with another 3 is Jalnes.
There's a careless throw ahead right there.
Looks like Cooley's going to get to the free throw line. The Redbirds are already over the limit. So Cooley, who is an excellent free throw shooter, to the free throw line.
Shooting no one in bonus.
Yeah, when you think you've got better than 4 minutes to go in the first half and your team has already scored 62. Now, Samford scored better than 100 in the first half against this Greenville Panther outfit.
I believe it was 102,
yeah.
And the bonus?
Yeah, when you take a look at their scores, in Greenville's first 3 games, they lost to Samford 174-99. Kansas City beat them in Game 2, 138-97, and Murray State just beat them 173-95. So they're scoring in the 90s, but they're giving up well over 100 every game out so far this year. And that pressure, it's a turnover. The Panthers come away with it. That's Ball again. Little one-on-one move, and he scored on Reeves.
Good finish.
Andrews is back up the floor.
Got the ball in quick for the press could get set up, passed ahead, found an open player.
Traveling violation against Kenneth Cooley, and we're going to step aside for our final media timeout of this first half. Illinois State 64, Greenville 41. Crazy pace here at Redbird Arena. Dan Muller's Illinois State Redbirds lead the Greenville Panthers 64-41. There's still 3.5 minutes to go here in this opening half. Astute basketball followers may know a general manager in the NBA has ties to Greenville. John Hammond is a 1976 graduate of Greenville. He's the current GM of the Orlando Magic, also has worked with the Milwaukee Bucks, and he is a Greenville grad.
He was originally went to high school in Zion, Illinois, up northern Illinois, just outside the Wisconsin border. But he was given credit. He was responsible for drafting the Greek Freak for the Milwaukee Bucks, putting that franchise back on the map, and then, as so many times in the NBA, got a more lucrative offer to go down south and live in Florida rather than Milwaukee.
I wonder what he thinks of the system.
I bet it wasn't implemented when he was playing.
Yeah, not in the 70s, that's for sure. This is Antonio Reeves. He's already knocked down a couple of threes. That one looked good, but he missed it right on target, but in front of the rim there.
As you see a double team all the time. That's what this whole defense is about. Move the ball, you'll find somebody under the bucket.
Cy Chapman's going to get to the free throw line. Got a nice interior feed from Reeves.
I'm going to give you one more tidbit on John Hammond. The reason I knew he was from Zion, Illinois, was the fact that his high school teammate was a guy named Billy McKinney, who went on later to start Northwestern. Had a good NBA career and is still bouncing around in the NBA in front office roles. Billy McKinney was a great Big Ten player, fun to watch.
Yeah. Chapman did not play in the game against Ohio State, but scored 9 points in 14 minutes of action against UMass Lowell. Again, we mentioned that he received that waiver to play just on the November the 19th, so not long ago. So he's joined the Redbirds and is suited up, and he is on the floor and playing here again tonight. His second action of the season. This is Reeves. Now he's going to leave for Washington.
That's pretty. That's pretty. You want to know how to beat a press? Don't let them press. Get out and go. You got better athletes, get out and go.
And that is a new record for Illinois State points and a half, 68. And they're going to add to it here because they've got nobody back on defense, and it's DJ Horn's turn for the slam. 70 first half points.
Those outlet passes are finally getting on target. They're finding people. They're going diagonal with the second pass. People are running the floor. We'll see right here on a replay. We'll see how that can happen if you play quick. You get up the floor, look ahead. You'll find a teammate running his lane. Boom, dunk. Iman Washington.
Iman Washington, 5 out of 5 from the floor. He's in double figures with 10 points. He also has 4 rebounds. And now he's adding to that total.
Well, that was a strong finish right there. I like seeing that.
So new career high now for Washington, the freshman from Atlanta, getting playing time, making the most out of it off the Redbird bench here tonight. 3 ball is short. It was kind of forced up there. Vinsel didn't look like he had a kind of a good handle on it, but put that 3 ball up. He got a foul against the Panthers. Caden Johnson.
You're kind when you said he didn't have a good handle on it. He came up a little short. It was an air ball. It didn't even come close to hitting the rim. You're so kind.
Well, it was. He didn't quite have it in the. It wasn't locked and loaded. Let's put it that way, ready to go.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
The Illinois State record, by the way, for points and a half was in a second half is 76 points. So they've already eclipsed their record for most points ever scored in the first half, which was 67. Their most points for any half was 76. And I'd say they're going to break that here.
Nice
spin
little move
by
right there.
Cooley.
Kenneth Cooley. Showing why he's the leading scorer. He can get to the rim and he can shoot the perimeter shot.
Reeves is fouled. He got tangled up right at the foul line. He looked like Caden Johnson maybe from behind got him. Holnase is going to be the one who got him.
Good spin move right
Yeah, it's going to send Reeves to the free throw line. We mentioned what a steady player he's been so far for Illinois State. He had a 17.7 rebound game against Ohio State. You recall last year he made the Missouri Valley all-bench team. He really started coming into his own, and he's a guy that the Redbirds are going to be certainly going to be counting on here this year.
Well, I know one thing Coach Muller depends on him is that he believes he is the lockdown defender for perimeter players. He accepts that role. He likes that role.
Cooley with a step-back 3 from the top of the circle. Cooley right at his 14-point average here in the opening half. This is Chapman. He's going to back in on Cooley. He's playing with 3 fouls, and he's stripped. It was Bankowski who reached in there and poked the ball away.
Got to be strong with the ball. When you're near the rim, people anticipate you going up. They're going to swipe at it.
Boyd with a defensive rebound ahead. This is strong. He scores with the left hand.
Great outlet pass right there. Good lead pass by Boyd.
And the Redbirds now have a school record for points and a half.
If they pass ahead, they'll have more.
Chapman fills the lane, flips it up, can't get it to go. Got his own rebound, and that one he's going to stick back in.
I don't think knowing what to do when he gets the ball in his hand is Chapman's problem. I think he's instant offense when he gets out there. I think he may have a little homework to do on the defensive end at times, but I think he knows what to do when the ball's in his hand.
Final half minute of this opening half. It's Josiah Strong driving and scoring. He flips it in. Strong with 6 points in the opening half. Corner. 3 from Vincent.
Count it. Ooh,
In and out.
rimmed out.
Tipped out. Panthers get another look. It's Cooley with a 16-point opening half to lead all scorers. Foul in the backcourt. Hey, stick around here at the half. We've got highlights, stats, and more coming up at our halftime report. It's presented by Country Financial. Give us a look around the Missouri Valley Conference this week, too. Catch you up with teams that are in action. These non-conference games around the league. Of course, you'll know that the Valley is going to be in conference play here soon. In a couple of weeks, they're targeting a start the week after Christmas with a new schedule where teams will play on back-to-back nights, try to cut down travel, and play an opponent on consecutive nights.
I'll be anxious to see that schedule. I think it's under the certain circumstances that everybody is going through. I believe it's a very good decision to do it that way, to try to get all the games you can in.
A runner from Bankowski probably going to be the final point of our half, and it is. But it's not like there was a shortage of points in the first 20 minutes. No. Illinois State 83 and Greenville 50. Mercy. And it's only halftime. We've got a Country Financial halftime report up. Welcome back to Redbird Arena. We are at halftime, and our halftime report presented by Country Financial. Protecting what's important to you and preparing for your financial future doesn't have to be complicated. Take it one simple step at a time at TakeSimpleSteps.com. Kurt Pegler, Bob Morris with you, our Country Financial halftime report. Illinois State 83 and Greenville 50. And that sounds like a final score, but we still have 20 minutes left to go. But here are our numbers from the first 20 minutes of play, our first half statistics. And again, like I said, you might look at these and you go, oh, okay, that's a final score. 30 rebounds, that must be a final. No, we still have a second half to play.
91%. I don't think anybody can object to that, but I would bet without looking and checking on this, 50% of the Redbird field goals have been dunks. 28 assists. That's got to be a pleasure to look at. I know as a point guard you would love the night like this. And 80% from three-point line. Points in the paint, 54. You got to believe they're happy with that. The only number they don't like is the turnovers with 14. And they had a boatload of those in the first 10 minutes. They've calmed down since and have been correcting errors that they showed early in the game. And so I'm going to give them credit there. That during the half, things got corrected in that department. And you saw the bulge take place in the score.
Yeah, the Redbirds with 28 assists on 32 field goals, Bob. That's a really, really good percentage if you take a look at that number.
Like I said, a dunk is a high percentage shot, Kurt. You don't miss, or you shouldn't miss very many of those.
All right, time to take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard, which is brought to you by Toyota. Visit Toyota.com. Again, we are very early in the season. The season just started last Wednesday. But there are still several Missouri Valley Conference teams that have yet to play. So these are games from this week in the league. UIC beat Valpo 66-50 last night in Peoria. Bradley beat Judson, an NAIA school, 105-32. There's our halftime score with the Redbirds. And then you see that Southern Illinois has a 6:30 tip, so they'll be getting underway shortly against Southeast Missouri State. Evansville is taking on UT Martin tonight. And Drake is going to be battling Omaha tomorrow at 7 o'clock. But Loyola, Missouri State, Indiana State, those are schools, Bob, that have yet to even play. Right now they're on pause because of COVID issues in those camps.
Exactly. And Southern's coming off of a lockdown because their head coach, Coach Mullins, was tested positive. So they're it's affecting everybody across the country, and the Missouri Valley is no exception. They're just struggling to get ball games in. And people ask, why would Illinois State play Greenville? What are you gaining from this? Well, you're gaining the opportunity to find a game within your region to get close. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching them disinfect the chairs the players on both benches have been sitting on. So I mean, you don't ever see things like this here. Greenville has is one of the very, very few Division III schools, I don't know of any other, that test for COVID 3 times a week. Any Division I school in the country can only play a school if they test for COVID a minimum of 3 times a week, because they don't want the schools to risk ball games in the future, or at least try to minimize the risk. So that's why they got a school that met that requirement, and they're playing them.
Back with more of our Country Financial Halftime Report in a minute here at Redbird Arena. It's 83-50. Illinois State with an 83-50 halftime lead here over Greenville. Kurt Pegler, Bob Morris, back with you as we get set to start the second half. One final quick look at our Toyota out-of-town scoreboard. Again, the Missouri Valley Conference teams playing non-conference games for another couple of weeks until the conference season begins. UIC over Valpo, and Bradley beating Judson last night. This game here at the half ready to start the second half. Later tonight, Southern Illinois against Southeast Missouri State, Evansville against Tennessee Martin, and then tomorrow in Des Moines, it'll be Drake hosting Omaha.
Real quick side note, Luke Yockledge is the new head coach this year at UIC, and they're off to a 3-0 start. He's done well, beat Northern Illinois, Central Michigan, and now a Valley foe and Valpo.
That has been our Toyota out-of-town scoreboard. Visit Toyota.com. Yeah, Luke Yockledge, the former Illinois State assistant coach, left Illinois State to go to Michigan and was in a Final Four there, and now is the head coach at UIC. And so we wish him the best for sure. Wonderful guy, wonderful family. Redbirds have the ball to begin the second half, and they quickly get a backdoor lob. Well done. It was Josiah Strong to DJ Horn.
Reversed it, hit the middle, backdoor cut. Started the second half basically the same way they started the game.
Horn now with 12 points. He's perfect on the night. He's 4 out of 4 shooting. Redbird lead is 35 off the inbounds. That 3 shot is missed, but a rebound bucket from Cooley. He's been doing most of his damage on the outside, but a rebound bucket there for the leading scorer for the Panthers. Off the pressure, that's going to cause a turnover. Illinois State turns it over, and George Barber, the Greenville coach, applauding his team for that half-court trap.
Got to be somebody come to the ball in the middle of the floor so he doesn't have to try to make a cross-court pass.
About a step back from ball. Rimmed it out. Redbirds going to bring it quickly back up the floor, but before Sissoko could dunk it, there was a foul in the backcourt against Greenville.
Greenville foul charge number 2, Kenneth Cooley.
Kenneth Cooley picked up that foul. I believe that's his 4th.
That is his 4th foul, so he's going to be flirting with a disqualification here real soon. Strong to the open Horn from the corner. He sets and fires and makes the 3.
There's another positive tonight for the Redbirds. They've shot the open 3s well. When they found it, they have been able to knock it down.
15 points for DJ Horn. He's 3 out of 3 from three-point land. It's a nice scoop that won't go in. It was Caden Johnson penetrating, but he couldn't finish, and now it's Antonio Reeves who brings the basketball up for Illinois State with an 88-52 advantage. First minute and a half of the second half. Horn from the other end, his first miss of the night, and a foul over the back on Jai.
Illinois State foul charge number 4 on Jai. His second personal.
It's the second foul on Jai, and a fresh 5, a quintet of players coming in now for the Panthers.
The other thing I'll compliment the Redbirds on is in this kind of pace, you're going to have open looks from behind the arc all the time, but you don't want to fall in love with shooting nothing but 3s. The Redbirds are 5 of 7 from beyond the arc, which means they're not going crazy shooting from outside.
Little give and go. 3 from the corners missed and tipped out of bounds. That was Jared Johnson who had the open look just across, had a lane to the basket, but gave up the pass for the 3. Now this is ball from the corner. He's working on Horn.
He traveled.
Yep, he did.
He got in there to the land of the trees and tried to take little steps and got caught.
That's the 12th turnover against Greenville. Redbirds back down the floor. Jai couldn't finish, but Sissoko did. He tipped in the miss.
Aruna Sissoko.
Good job by Aruna getting to the rim there on that follow.
Sissoko was scoreless in the game against Ohio State, but he had 8 big points against UMass Lowell, and he's played some pretty good minutes here tonight. He's 3 out of 3 from the floor for 7 points. We got a foul on Josiah Strong.
Kurt, I know this whole season has been strange everywhere in all these happenings in athletics, but to come to Redbird Arena and broadcast a ball game with absolutely 0 people sitting in the stands, only the cutouts are there, and both teams are on the opposite side of the floor that they're normally on, so they can get more spacing. It's just an odd feeling sitting here broadcasting a ball game of this nature.
It feels like you're doing a game in Europe or something where the game is a little bit different. It doesn't quite feel, it's great to be back at Redbird Arena. It's great to be calling a game. We sure wish the fans were here, but it just seems a little strange, the setup here. Abdu Jai's going to jam that one down. It just has a different, certainly a different feel to it. But it's just great to have college basketball back. Home opener for Illinois State, now a steal. Sissoko brings it down, but his pass intended for Washington is over his head.
Again, trying to do something that's not what he's on the floor to do. As a big man, you get a steal, you find a guard instantly. You take a dribble or two to clear yourself and get open, and then you stop and pick the ball up and get it to a guard.
So a nice look at the alley-oop jam to DJ Horn. Penetrate before it could be kicked. It's kicked out of bounds. There's like a baseball pass all the way down to Jai. Pump fake and jammed it down. It's like a touchdown pass going the length of the floor. Long assist that time for DJ Horn. Now he's got a defensive rebound and an opportunity to push the ball up again. This is Dedrick Boyd. He's going to attack and kick it. This is Sissoko all the way down. He is fouled as he was attacking there from the left.
Greenville foul charge to number 25, Ralph Almays, his 3rd personal, 2nd team foul.
Get another look at that long pass as a quarterback making that play, huh? That's got to be his longest assist of his career.
You would think, yes. He'd be out of bounds for it to be any longer.
80-foot pass. Well, again, the Redbirds tonight are playing without Dusan Mahorsic, who's had back issues. He is the junior from Serbia. And freshman Howard Fleming is in street clothes on the Redbird bench as well. We have no indication of yet if he's got an injury or why he's not playing. But so 2 of their players, again, the Redbirds going to play as many bodies as possible tonight, but 2 of them are not going to be able to play. In fact, as I say that, Nick Stadelman, who's a walk-on, from Rockford, is checked in at the scores table, so he's going to get action early here in this second half. This is Washington. His 3 is in.
Washington's done some good things tonight.
Iman Washington, a freshman from Atlanta. Playing well for Illinois State tonight. He's had a nice start to his Illinois State career. Dan Muller really excited about this freshman class.
As well he should be. There's some quality players that I think have room to grow, get better, and the future's bright for this freshman-sophomore crew that Illinois State's landed.
Catch and shoot 3 from Vincel is no good. Redbirds have numbers 3 on 2. It's Dedrick Boyd finishing.
Dedrick Boyd of the assist from DJ Horn.
Quickly back up the floor, and the 3 is swished in.
They just don't hesitate to grab it, shoot it.
Holnays knocked that one down. Ralph Holnays is from Long Beach. A lot of Southern California flavor on this team. Inglewood, California. Like we said,
Southern California to Greenville, Illinois.
That's right. Winters are a little bit different. 100 points for the Redbirds. They've got a 40-point lead here at Redbird Arena. Back here at Redbird Arena, home opener for the Illinois State Redbirds. It's Illinois State 117 and Division III Greenville 63. Kurt Pegler, Bob Morris with you, and we are glad that we've got college hoops for you here in Central Illinois. Quickly off the inbounds pass and scoring, Justin Cross. Not used to seeing a point scored that close into the basket here. Washington fights the double team. He's fouled, though. May have been Isaiah Dortch that got him. No, they're going to call it a Romello Ball here. He's got 4 fouls now, too.
You see here on the replay where he's trapped. If he's going to make that step through, he can't have the ball above his head like that. He's got to get it in where he's a little stronger, chest area, step through and go. They're going to give him that avenue, which it was open. Then he can step through, bust through, and go with it. But if you kind of try to come through with the ball over your head, that's not the strongest position to handle a basketball in traffic.
Iman Washington has played a solid game tonight for Illinois State. He's going to be flirting with a 20-point game here.
He certainly has. He's done a lot of impressive things. He scored inside, and he has showed that his outside shot is one that's going to have to be reckoned with also.
Second attempt. It was Isaiah Dortch who got the rebound, took it right back out to the three-point line and knocked it down. Washington off the double team. He finds Horn. And now
good
it's
ball
Kodoff
fake.
right down the middle, and he's got a three-point play opportunity.
Horn right there made a ball fake that got that defense to all shift, thinking he was going to kick it to Washington in the corner, and the defender in the middle left Kodoff wide open. Horn set him up for that beautifully. That's a good job.
Kodoff did not have a point until tonight. He started the game against Ohio State, no points and 5 rebounds in that one. But tonight he has found himself in the area of having 12 points on 6 out of 6 shooting, 4 rebounds as well. For the sophomore from Russia, played at a couple of junior colleges in Florida at Palm Beach State and Daytona State before coming to Illinois State. Under 11 minutes to go. And now a steal. DJ Horn, foot race, takes it all the way down, and he laid it in. He beat Jared Johnson to the basket and laid it in on him. Horn now with 17 points. Dortch again from the corner. Offensive rebound and knocked in from Travis Dickey.
Greenville does go to the offensive boards hard.
Redbirds have 8 players in double figures and an opportunity here to add to that. How about Washington? He has just really had a terrific basketball game here tonight.
He's smooth. He makes the things he does look relatively easy, and they're not. He's scoring through traffic, through contact, and just handling the ball, inside score, outside score. He's done some good things, no question. This is great experience for him. In a season that it's been difficult to get a schedule, this is a good time, a good game to get the Redbirds on the court and playing against somebody other than one another.
22 points and 4 assists from Washington. How about that little move up and under for Dustin Bankowski?
Redbirds are trying really, really hard, from everything we've been told, to get a game on Saturday. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but yet they're still attempting to get a game Saturday.
And Washington works the baseline and has 2 more points. He's got a 24-point game and counting. There's a 3. That's Cooley. He's been a little quieter here in the second half. And yet Cooley with an 18-point game. Over and back. I was waiting for that whistle. DJ Horn was right on the timeline, and he dribbled it front court, back court.
But you can do that. You got to have both feet and the ball across the timeline. I thought he was still straddled the timeline. I'm questioning that call.
Josiah Strong.
because it's all or nothing. You have to have all over, or it doesn't matter. If both feet and the ball are not over, then it's not over and back.
Replaces Chapman.
I think it looked odd that drew the whistle in a game that's this far apart. Who really matters?
Yeah.
Who really cares?
Reeves with the rebound. This is Jai trying to lead the fast break. He gives it up to Josiah Strong in rhythm jumper three.
When he has a chance to get his feet set, as he just did right there, he's an outstanding shooter. He has shown that in all 3 games so far this year. And those are things that transfer as the season progresses.
Redbird foul charge to number 2, Josiah Strong. His third personal.
Redbirds are shooting the three at a pretty good clip at 63% here tonight. The total points record, by the way, is 137 set against McMurray back in 1973. And the Redbirds are real close to eclipsing that here tonight. Well, if you like offense, you're seeing it here, right? We thought there was going to be over 200 points scored in the game, and we're just about ready to cross that threshold. Washington again flips it up and in, drew contact, and he's got a three-point play opportunity.
Why not? Nobody's guarding you. Take it to the rim. Again, the young man continuously impressing me because this finishes off his left hand. Strong, through contact once again.
Long and lean, right? 6'6", 190.
I don't want to get carried away with impressing about the left hand. I mean, he's left-handed.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Difficult shot by Jelks, and it's Jai that comes up with it. He's going to try that long pass. Washington goes up and gets it, and he's going to lay it in. Oh, I think the bench was disappointed. They were hoping for some sort of a tomahawk dunk. How about Jai hustling back down, and a nice save, a terrific save from Sissoko. And Jai is going to try and lead the break, but he lost it out of bounds. He started it with a block. It was saved from going out of bounds by Sissoko, but they just couldn't quite put that together and turn that into a real highlight play. Corner three is missed. That was Kendall Edmond.
Here's one.
Strong.
Another ran out.
Head to Reeves.
Well, let's see. Redbirds are getting their conditioning in tonight.
That they are. Jai just picked up his third foul. Stottleman's going to come back into the game. Again, he is he's the walk-on from Rockford. Illinois State's played a couple of walk-ons here in the second half. Boyd comes back in, and he'll send Washington to the bench. What a night so far for Iman Washington.
Alston Andrews replaces Abdi Jai from Illinois State.
Edmond at the free throw line. Everybody kind of frantically looking through records right now to see what's the next one to fall. You've already broken the record for most points in the first half, most points in any half, most points at Redbird Arena, most points by a single team in any Illinois State game, regardless of the venue. This is just crazy. Sissoko's going to take it all the way down and flip it in.
Aruna Sissoko.
At this point, you're just hoping that they're having fun and nobody gets hurt. I mean, the outcome was decided a long time ago. You just don't want anybody to roll an ankle or
that's exactly
anything like that. Timeout on the floor. 7:43 to go. And holy cow, we still have more points on the board. 140-78 Illinois State over Greenville. Before planning your trip to St. Louis or to follow the 2021 State Farm Missouri Valley Men's Basketball Championship, be sure to download the Arch Madness app or visit archmadness.com because both resources have all the information you need to know about the tournament schedule, hotel accommodations, and other fun events during the tournament. Log on to archmadness.com or download the app on your phone today. Iman Washington having a night that he will not forget anytime soon. 29 points on 12 of 13 shooting from the floor. He's also chipped in 3 rebounds and 4 assists. He's really done it on both ends.
He really has. He's had an impressive performance tonight, and I think this is kind of a coming out party for him. I think he's getting a boost of confidence tonight. That might lead to a lot of things as the near future happens.
Cooley with a difficult move. He scored on Boyd. Cooley with 21 points, leading scorer for Greenville. He usually averages 14, so he's well above his scoring average. We've got a collision there. In fact, if it's on Cooley, he might be done for the night.
I think it's just called out of bounds. I don't think there was any pass interference there.
Okay,
It's
well,
just play on.
That's fortunate for him because he would have been headed to the showers. He's playing with 4 fouls. Oh, the bench wants Stottleman to shoot. He's going to hit a pull-up. Back of the rim, no good. Tipped around and controlled by Reeves. He floated it in, and he was fouled.
For Antonio Reeves.
The bench getting excited. They want the walk-on players to score.
They do. He took a dribble, and they all started yelling at him, and then he shot it. They all wanted him to just catch and crank.
Reeves with the miss. He's had a nice game as well. He's got 16 points. Again, the Redbirds, you look at that scoring. You got 29 from Washington, 17 from Horn, 16 from Reeves and from Jai. Boyd with 12, Kotoff with 12, 10 for Andrews. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players in double figures. Johnson back in the game here. The Redbirds have a couple of their walk-on players here at the 7-minute mark. What a night it's been again for Washington, although he turned it over right there as he lost it. We got a foul, and then he committed the foul.
There he made a freshman mistake. You get in a corner with the ball against a pressure defense, you're not going to dribble your way out of it. You got to pick the ball up and find the open man. He tried to do a little too much.
Bonus time for Cameron Vinsel. Played his high school basketball at Red Hill, Bridgeport, Illinois native.
Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
Way down south.
I think if you're Greenville, you're a Greenville player and you've played 4 Division I opponents to start your season. I mean, you're going to be 0-4, but you've played on some nice arenas and, again, the D1 competition. And right now they're just hoping that there's going to be a Division III season. And at the very least, they've had a really nice November and December so far, at least as far as playing in some great competition.
Yes, they have. They've done it. Greenville, you got to hand them, all the credit in the world for them coming on, taking on this challenge. And, it all started with the fact that the school allowed them to test for COVID 3 times a week so they could play the D1. And also, let's be realistic, these are cash games for them. They're getting some money in their pocket when they go home. They're not just getting, a bag full of pizzas and sent on the road. They're getting some cash in it out of the deal also. These are cash games for them. And what else could they do at Greenville University to make some money during their basketball season this year? This is a great boost for them.
And with an early start, they get on the road a little bit earlier tonight and hopefully get home at a decent hour. And you're right. From that standpoint, they've enjoyed their quick stay and they get a paycheck. And that's part of the deal when you're a Division III and you're trying to make that budget. All divisions of college basketball in the same boat. How about a rhythm jumper, Jaden Johnson?
That's what he was noted for at Batavia High School, was being able to knock down that outside shot.
Here's that walk-on getting in the scorebook with a 3 ball. Redbirds are hoping that number 14 can score as well. That bench is excited when they see that those guys that work hard in practice get a chance to get the scorebook.
That's exactly right. They all understand. They're happy for those guys. They know it doesn't come very often in game situations, but yet they also view them as one of their brothers, their teammates, and they're very happy when they see them score points.
Iman Washington with a 30-point game with that made free throw.
Cy Chapman and Josiah Strong return to the Redbird lineup.
You give this young man another season, get this whole season under his belt, get him another off season, throw him in the weight room, put another 15 pounds on that frame that he's got. I think he's got a future that's going to be really fun to watch as he grows.
Cooley penetrates and scores. He's having some fun. It's Chapman on the other end with a jam.
Cy Chapman.
You know, we're looking at the possibility here of both teams scoring 100 plus.
Offensive rebound, and the floater goes down. That's Philip Curtis.
Philip Curtis.
Foul in the backcourt as Strong was fouled by
Greenville
Bankowski.
Starts number 5, Dustin Bankowski, his 4th personal.
So he's another one of the Panthers now playing with 4 fouls along with Ball and Cooley.
Shooting 2.
But when you play 15 people, you sub as often as they do. It's not like somebody's coming in cold off the bench.
Well, and when you take a look at minutes played, it's divided up pretty evenly.
You're right.
When you're subbing in 5 at a time, and unless you're in real foul trouble, and we saw Cooley picked up 3 fouls in the first half, and that really hasn't affected his rotation.
Correct, yeah.
That's Dortch. His fadeaway. Johnson with a rebound. Redbirds trying to help him out. Washington comes back for help, and now the pass ahead. This is Chapman. He's going to lob for Strong. Usually it's the other way around.
Josiah Strong.
A role reversal.
Yeah.
From Cy Chapman.
The 30-point scoring effort, by the way, for Iman Washington. Most by an Illinois State freshman since Bubbles Hawkins scored 30. This was 1973. February the 16th of 73. Bubbles Hawkins, the great Bubbles Hawkins with a 30-point game. And so Iman Washington has equaled that here tonight. And the freshman record for scoring is 41 points from Tony Cadle. We don't know whether or not there's 11 more points left in Iman Washington. But there's time left on the clock. And now a steal. Chapman. Stottleman. Chapman!
Oh, what a pass!
Cy Chapman with the assist to Nick Stottleman.
Good job by Stottleman. Good job of getting it back to him. Give it up, get it back. Don't.
Now it's Boyd quickly up the floor. 3-on-2 for the Redbirds. Chapman's going to try a 3. That one's front of the rim, no good. As we approach the 4-minute mark left in this one. We're seeing Zach Neighbors in the game. He wears number 32. He plays with only one hand.
Yeah.
It's an amazing story, especially when you think about this speed at which these guys play, and that he's in the game 32 for Greenville. Dunk for Kodoff on the other end, but he's just an absolutely amazing story. A sophomore from Valdosta, Georgia, and that's him with a basketball right there. He plays with one hand, with his left hand. There's a corner 3 is in. It's Dickey. But what an inspiration for that young man to be playing college basketball.
That is, as you said, it's a great story. You're just so proud of him.
That is his 5th personal.
158. Today's player of the game is brought to you by Carl Broman Medical Center, redefining healthcare about you. Visit carl.org to find the care you need. Iman Washington, the Illinois State freshman from Atlanta, Georgia, with a coming out party. 30 points on 12 of 13 shooting. He's got 4 rebounds. He's got 7 assists, and he's got our player of the game again, brought to you by Carl Broman Medical Center. Terrific outing for Washington. Nick Stottleman needs to make one of these free throws so that he can get in the scorebook here with points.
Oh,
It'll be Greenville basketball. DJ Horn replaces Stottleman for Illinois State.
Well, this has just been something, hasn't it? I mean, how do you describe
Yeah.
158 to 95? Got a whistle before the shot here.
Redbird foul charge. number
yeah, words
four.
begin to escape me at this point.
I just
don't know.
can't imagine seeing this every night. If you're with Greenville, holy cow, this is a traveling road show here.
Well, and the things that, Illinois State shooting 88% from the floor.
I mean, some of these numbers are just mind-boggling. You're going to look at this one day, and you're going to look back and you say, that's got to be a misprint. And again, we had a nice conversation with George Barber, the head coach. He said, listen, we don't know if there's going to be a Division III season, so we're taking advantage of all these games that we can. We're having fun. We're playing Division I opponents. And it's just been a good ride for those guys. And certainly for Illinois State, this is a night that many of these guys are going to remember when you walk out of the arena and you've scored over 160 points. I mean, we just don't see these kind of numbers
You don't.
on a night-to-night basis. You don't even see this in the NBA.
Stottleman replaces DJ Horn in the
Well,
Redbird lineup.
on a normal year, you wouldn't see this contest take place. But this year, 2020, it's brought surprises and things we haven't seen ever before on a lot of levels.
Here's Cooley working the baseline and floating in. He's got 27 points. He's double his average. Chapman down the lane with a hammer.
Chapman, give the assist.
I've lost track of how many dunks Side Chapman's had tonight. This is Dortch spinning. Chapman got a piece of it.
Did again.
Now it's to the corner. 3-ball from the corner is it's Cameron Vinsel.
Cameron Vinsel,
And
give the assist.
Greenville goes to
Triple
the century
digits,
mark.
yep, triple digits. So this is their highest scoring game of the season.
But not by a lot, because what are they averaging?
Yeah, in the
98?
90s, that's right.
Yeah.
Their first game they scored 99. Their second game they scored 97. Their third game they scored 95. So they're right about where they're in the neighborhood
Yeah.
where they typically are.
Foul charge number
And the most
31
they've given up
York.
is 174. And so the Redbirds are a dozen points away from equaling that.
Johnson at the line for the Redbirds.
Take a look at these game statistics again. 88% shooting for the game for Illinois State. You just look at that and you go, this is video game numbers.
That's a good way to describe it, yes.
Iman Washington and Alston Andrews.
ISU has 112 points in the paint.
For what, 3 games? For a week? Oh, no, that's one night.
Month of November,
Yeah.
maybe? No, one night.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Replaces Side Chapman in the Redbird lineup.
Redbirds have a new school record for assists now. They blew by that. Their school record was 44. They're sitting on 54 right now. I mean, just, again,
Redbird foul charge number
they're
10,
video game
Iman
numbers that
Washington.
we're throwing at you, folks.
10th team foul. Justin crossed the line for the Panthers, shooting 2.
Yeah, 54 assists on 65 field goals. The percentages are just mind-boggling here with 2 minutes to go. Well, we know the cardboard cutouts have certainly enjoyed it. We wish that there could have been some fans here, but Illinois State, like everybody else in the country that you see, they've put up some cardboard cutouts with a donation. You can have your family there. We've seen some pets that are there. And they've got good seats, too, by the way. So
They do have.
these cardboard cutouts are in the A section. Haruna Sissoko had the ball go in and out of one of his teammates and right back at him. I guess we're going to give Austin Andrews an assist on that. In and out of his hands and back to somebody for an uncontested layup and get credited for an assist. He's going to get another assist. And, oh, not that time, but a follow was good. I don't think the officials want to call any more fouls for the night, and I guess I don't blame them when you got 90 seconds to play.
I couldn't be happier if they just swallowed it from this point on.
Well, again, the Redbirds are scheduled to play Ball State next week. They're trying to get another game this weekend. Before that, maybe they'll have an announcement tomorrow if they make something happen. There's a dunk again as Andrews adds to his point total. He's got a dozen points now, a new career high for the freshman from Detroit. Career highs left and right here for Illinois State. Final 70 seconds of this wild basketball game here at Redbird Arena. Right down the lane and scooping it in is Kendall Edmond. Under a minute to go. Andrews again. If they keep statistics on total number of dunks, this is for sure going to be an Illinois State record.
It could be a lot of records.
Yeah, I mean,
it could be in the Guinness. We're in line for that, I think.
Yeah, the shooting percentages, the Redbirds have actually gone down to 87%. 7.3.
Correction, that follows charge number 34, Travis Hickey.
Now the only mystery is, can Illinois State get a basket for the final walk-on who is yet to score here tonight, Nick Stottleman? They can get him some points. I think that bench is just about ready to explode.
They would love it, no doubt. I felt bad for him. He had his attempts at the free throw line and couldn't convert. But everybody on the ISU bench would love to see him get in that scoring column.
And we certainly thank all of you who've tuned in tonight for this this one-of-a-kind basketball game that we've been able to bring to you. It's been fun to be back at Redbird Arena.
College basketball is back, just in a different form.
One more basket for Kenneth Cooley. And he's got a 29-point night. Leading scorer for Greenville. Stottleman. Can he get in the scorebook? He's going to get a Sissoko basket instead. Under a half a minute left in this one. Now the Redbirds have now scored more points against Greenville than any opponent so far this year. Final 15 seconds. Stottlemeyer, can he get it? Can he muscle himself in? He's going to get at least to the free throw. That Redbird bench, everybody's on their feet.
They want to go crazy.
They want so badly for that young man to score. The only Redbird who hasn't yet scored tonight. They are all pulling for this guy, freshman from Rockford.
Oh! Now this one gets difficult because he knows they're all watching him. They're standing up and they all want to cheer. Yes! Yes! Meets with approval from the bench.
Yeah. And on a night when we don't have any fans, that's drawing the most cheers tonight here at Redbird Arena. That's likely going to be our final points of the game. Cooley has a 30-point game, a 31-point game, and this is going to finish things off. 177 to 108.
Wow.
A record-setting victory for the Illinois State Redbirds here over the Panthers of Greenville. So Illinois State will move to 2-1, and Greenville will slip to 0-4. All right, partner, how about a final comment about this one?
Well, the last time I saw this many points collectively scored on a basketball game, I think it involved the Globetrotters. I can't imagine any other game I've ever witnessed that was this much. I do think it served some purpose early in that first half, and as that first half progressed, I think the Birds saw some things from different players, and as we said, Iman Washington surfaced tonight and showed a lot of skill and talent. So I think we got some good look at Josiah Strong. We saw Horn doing his thing, Reeves doing his thing. We got players that needed this kind of thing. They needed a feel-good moment, and they got it tonight. Hopefully nobody sustained any injuries and they get out of this and can get a game on Saturday, fingers crossed, and move on and become better. That's the goal of these types of contests, is to get better and move on.
Kenneth Cooley scored 31 for Greenville. Iman Washington 30 for the Redbirds. 10 Redbirds in double figures in a 177-108 win over Greenville. For our producer, Lucas Raycroft, and for my broadcast partner, Bob Morris, I'm Kurt Pegler saying so long from Normal, Illinois. The final score again, like a video game. 177-108. Illinois State beats Greenville. Thanks for watching tonight, folks. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other productions on our family of ESPN networks, log on to ESPN.com or download the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, and good night from Normal, Illinois.